A NASCAR R5P7 powered Plymouth Superbird? Oh, a 1,000 horsepower RB30R34? Oh, and you'll never expect this. A K-swapped Subaru? All this and more on today's episode of Room News. If you're looking to build an M3 GTR on a budget, then maybe this is the setup for you. I found this build being presented by Drenth on their YouTube channel. It's an E46 M3, it's powered by an LS3, mated to a Drenth straight-cut geared sequential transmission. If you want to know which particular one it is the DG500. It's about 10 grand, I think, give or take a couple grand. Kind of inconsequential there. Great value, though, for a transmission if you don't need something with a crazy high torque rating. Weston Champlin.
This is a motor out of an upside-down motorhome. It doesn't run well.
We all love his stuff. I know I do. And this is his 1968 Dodge Charger. And in this video, he is putting in a 1,500 horsepower engine into it. Looks like it's some sort of Hellcat crate motor, but with a massive blower on it. Oh yeah. I imagine that the engine has probably been built. Can a Hellcat engine make 1,500 on stock internals? I'm not a Mopar guy, so I have no idea. But anyways, it sounded super cool, right until the manifold popped off.
My gosh.
What the hell?
That intake is in half.
That's not good.
Never seen that before. I'll tell you what, though. The video where Weston hosts his own burnout show at SEMA, that was great shenanigans to watch. Okay, no one told me he had such a sick Peterbilt. It actually took me a hot minute to realize that this is the rollover wrecked truck, the blue one that he rescued ages ago. It looks super cool. I mean, he's basically doing exactly what I want to do with my CDL. I mean, I'd love a W900 and a trailer to haul all my cars in. I guess I just won't be the first YouTuber to do that. Oh well. Sick truck though. And once again, the Smokestang is definitely still my favorite car from his fleet. It's like the ultimate spectacle mobile. It blows black smoke everywhere, and it shreds tires down into quark matter. Pretty crazy stuff. Kind of wild to think that I used to be so close to where he's based. I used to drive through Kansas all the time. Dominic Toretto, eat your heart out because Amelia Hartford has done something pretty cool. She previously purchased, a while back, a barn find Plymouth Superbird replica. It was a Plymouth with a wing on it for like one of the old wing cars. And then, not long after that, she purchased an R5P7 powered NASCAR stock car chassis and decided to blend them together. Basically what she did is she removed the NASCAR Cup car style exterior from the Cup car chassis, which she then had to extend the race car chassis so that she could drop the Superbird body on top of it, making it into a NASCAR spec Plymouth Superbird of sorts, with the powertrain, the drivetrain, and I would assume a pretty good chassis. The whole 9 yards. I honestly am very impressed with how good it looks, how it turned out. Even with the front end not on it yet. It actually looks really freaking crazy without the front end on it. And it sounds absolutely wild. I love high-revving cross-plane V8s. They sound so cool. Like old school, proper American muscle. I mean, that's how it should sound, at least in my head. When I think American muscle, I think high-revving RPM, true dual, or kind of that early X-pipe they have on Cup cars out the side with the boom tubes. To me, that is what an American V8 should sound like. That is the epitome, ultimate expression of American horsepower.
What? This is the most absurd thing I think you've ever done.
I can't wait to see how it looks when it's finished.
This is the setup here, hosted up with the team.
All right, so it's been a hot minute since we last talked about these guys, but Lee Bird over at Monster Performance has been doing a few new things. What is happening to my voice? He's still got the 1,000 horsepower R34 with the RB30, but he's now also got an R34 sedan daily driver. Pretty cool idea, and pretty affordable if you think about it. Those sedans are not expensive. And it sounds really cool too. His magnum opus, though, will always be the R34, with that RB30 powered, PPG sequential, if I remember correctly, R35 GTR metallic red, Haltech ECU, and he even did the quarter panels properly. All steel, no fiberglass to be found. When I say Subaru WRX, what do you picture in your mind? A bug eye, a blob eye, a hawk eye, and whatever the others are, stink eye, Evo eye, or raptor eye, or whatever it is. Maybe, but maybe you picture a rally car. How many of you pictured something like this? Well, this is a GC8, and this GC8 may look like a 22B, but it actually started out in life as an RS, but was built into a RSTI. In this That Dude in Blue video, David talks about how usually when people hear the name WRX, they think of a fun, sporty sedan, making this WRX build a rather unique gem. It's blob eye swapped, when it comes to the powertrain, has all the proper 22B exterior parts, is painted a really pretty blue, and makes 450 horsepower. So it's a really pretty blue blur most of the time. But that's the Goldilocks number for a car like this, I imagine. 450 horsepower is probably right at the sweet spot. I think it's a really cool idea. We never got anything like this in the States, from the factory. So a build like this is always fun to see. Someone emulating a car that is essentially forbidden fruit for us.
We have this nice lightning yellow GTT.
When is the last time you saw a yellow sports car? This is a weird segment, but maybe it's just my own personal experience or perspective. I don't know. But I feel like nowadays, yellow is an underused color. Remember when all Lambos were that signature yellow pearl metallic? I mean, that's the example that comes to mind anyways. I just think yellow looks really good, and I wish I could see more of it, especially on things like this GTT. It's a color you can get on GTRs too. But then everyone started using orange for like a few years in the early 2010s. That was really interesting. Started seeing orange everywhere for a little while.
If you were going to engine swap a Subaru, what would you swap into it?
Whatever that motor is, sounds mint. But if you were to also ask this gentleman that question on the Black Thumb YouTube channel, his answer would be a Honda K-Series.
Oh.
Holy shit, that was loud.
Oh my god, that was loud.
I bet when it goes by, this build makes all the car guys do a double take when they hear it. Like, was that a Subaru? But it sounded like a turbo Honda. And then they have to start taking their crazy pills. Also, I love how the engine is sticking out of the hood. I wonder what this car would look like with a cowled hood. Kind of make up for that. I don't know. I feel like the cowl would have to be really big looking at how it's sticking out. Fun stuff though, man. A really cool idea.